Hey, hello.
I'm loving you guys so much. I can't tell you.
Okay, let's go.
Hold on, we got to introduce him.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
You could have just stopped it coming.
Yeah, that would have worked. Hold on. Can you tilt your phone a little so we don't lose the top of your head? Oh, there you go. Perfect.
But then we lose the bottom of his 12-foot beard.
That's okay. I love the 12-foot beard. That's fabulous.
That. He has to brush that baby every day.
Of course he does.
It's my pet.
Oh, well, Helene Spalding says she's here for you. So let's make an introduction. Hey, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, one of the most famous bassists on planet Earth, total music royalty, Leland Sklar. Hello and welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here. I cannot tell you. This is the pinnacle of my career.
Oh, yes.
You're so full of shit.
No, I'm totally full of shit.
Thanks for the compliment. Now listen, a thick mustache they used to call a pussy bumper. Now your
flavor saver.
Well, wait, yes, a flavor saver. But your beard is a pussy banger, because when you do the mustache and the beard, the chick can't live because it's all over the place. And look at that.
It's my mask.
There you go. I love it. So hold on. Let me introduce you. This is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Ron Russell.
It is so indeed a pleasure to meet you, because I'm so in awe of all the people you've played for. I can't believe your list of stars. It's just a joke. Nobody's been in that many situations as you have. I mean, playing with Barbara fucking Streisand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a big number.
We're gonna brag for him in a minute before we get going. But first,
you're a big shot.
We have a chat room. We have a chat room full of people, lots of countries represented. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Well, hello to everybody in the chat room. And Miss Spalding is a dear friend, and I'm glad she came in here to join in. This is really thrilling. I was watching a whole bunch of your shows yesterday, just to moisten up, and you guys are a trip. I love it. It's really got a nice energy.
We're the only ones like it. That's why right now there are 4.5 million people watching you all over the world. Our show goes to every country.
That's so cool.
And nobody's yet shut us down.
Actually, though.
So I guess we're doing something.
We need to brag for you too, you guys. So,
yes.
First of all,
listen to this.
Hang on. First of all, you can follow Leland. He doesn't really tweet much, but he does have a Twitter. It's at SpoonyLee1. So SPOONYLE1. And if you go there and follow him, it says go to his YouTube page. And so if you go to his YouTube page, which is Leland Sklar, every day he plays bass on another song for everybody and does talks and little things. And you have to go because it's unbelievable. I've never, even like Justin Bieber and people, like when they put a video up, he gets like 8,000 or 10,000 hits in like a matter of 24 hours, which is pretty amazing. So your fan base is huge and I love it. But I want to brag for you a little bit. And that way everybody will know who we're really talking to. First of all, you guys, so I went on and I Googled Leland Sklar to find out all kinds of information about him. And then it said he's played on over 2,000 albums. And if that's real, that's you're working every fucking day.
Yeah, it's 2,600.
There we go. 2,600 albums, you guys. And I'm not talking about albums from your Joe Schmo next door, person in garage band who's never fucking played on a stage. I only picked out the ones that I like a lot, because there's way too many of them. But listen to this list, you guys.
Hang on. Did you ever play for Johnny Mathis?
Oh yeah, I love Johnny.
Oh, go fuck you. I hate you. I love Johnny. Johnny's my
That's his
idol.
favorite.
He's my idol, and I know Johnny, and I adore him. We'll talk about him later.
Oh, he's
hold
fabulous.
on.
He's fabulous.
I love him. I love him.
Okay, you guys. So listen to this list, and it's kind of long because I picked out about 30 of them. But this is just the coolest shit on the planet. So he's worked with Jackson Browne, Carole King, Phil Collins. That's one of my favorites. James Taylor, Toto. Bee Gees, Aaron Neville. The reason I mention Aaron Neville is because the duet that he did with Linda Ronstadt, the band that we're coming on next after you, they're a big fan of yours, and they said that's why they formed their band, or whether a lot of it had to do with that song. So their name is Trench. They're coming on.
Cool.
Wilson Phillips, who's one of my favorites. Air Supply, who's been on our show. Richard Marx, Ricky Martin, Lisa Loeb's been on our show. Steve Lukather, who's from Toto. Chris Christopherson, Michael Jackson, Julio and Enrique Iglesias, both. Freddie Jackson, who I know, Engelbert Humperdinck, Faith Hill, Hull and Oates, Sammy Hagar, Vince Gill, England Dan and John Ford Coley, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Leonard Cohen. Oh, Phil Collins, I already said. Ray Charles, David Cassidy, Kim Carnes, Laura Branigan, Stephen Bishop, who's been on our show, America. That's the Horse with No Name song that you like.
Love that song.
Peter Allen.
Oh, my best friend. I knew Peter very
Bette
well.
Midler.
Peter was lovely.
Oh, Peter was the best. I adore him.
Bette Midler,
I miss
Randy
him.
Newman, Olivia Newton-John, Donna Summer, Barbara Streisand, Dolly Parton. Now, that's about 30 of 2,600, you guys. Then
Wait. Could you just abbreviate it and say he's played for everybody that's famous?
it's more like who hasn't he played with? But
No,
listen to this,
he's
too.
played for
He's
every-
also played on soundtracks and for Legally Blonde, which 2 weeks ago we had one of the stars of Legally Blonde on here.
Cool.
Message in a Bottle, Metropolis, Phantom of the Paradise, which was the first movie that I was allowed to go see by myself. I was 10 years old. I love that movie.
Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, The Postman, The Prince of Egypt, Love Maximum. I don't know that one. It's Sleepwalkers, and we've had all the people from Sleepwalkers on this show.
That was fun.
So that's like a very small percentage, but can you guys believe that shit? He's played with everybody. So congratulations on a stellar career, and that seems to continue to keep moving forward, and we're very happy to have you.
And I hope you're absolutely outrageously wealthy. Because, I mean, we know so many of our people that is great recording artists who got fucked by managers and by
absolutely.
labels. And I hope that you're not one of them, because
I'm not one of them, but I'm a sideman, so you don't make the dough that all the names you just said. I'm not in that league, because I'm basically a plumber when I get called to go to work. So, but I'm fine. I am just fine. I can just live out my life right now, and I'm quite content with it all.
Actually, you live in a big ass house, because I Google Earthed you.
I know that pissed me off. Somebody from Italy called me and said, "Go check out Google Earth," and there I was dumping my trash in front of the house. Somebody had driven by with one of those cars and filmed me. Jesus, what a world!
I actually saw you, though. I saw a Google Earth thing with you. That's why I thought you owned the Back to the Future car, is because like I saw you with the Back to the Future car, and I was like, oh my God, because I collect cool shit. And I thought, oh my God, maybe he collects really cool shit. But the Back to the Future car is actually like lives near you someplace.
Yeah, I live 2 blocks from the Gamble house, which was Doc Brown's house in the movie Back to the Future. And one day I walked by there, and there was a DeLorean meeting, and there was about 50 DeLoreans all parked out front of that place. It was pretty cool. It was really cool.
I was filmed on Skycam. They came over my patio, and I was out watering the plants naked, and they caught me tripping over my penis.
I'm not even going to go there. I was even
Life's a bitch.
Had the macro lens out or whatever.
So also one other thing that I read that so you were a member of the Section, and the Section was the house band for Asylum Records, and that you and the house band are one of the creators of the soft rock sound that was prevalent on top 40 radio in the 70s and 80s. Which that's like a huge thing, because like we had a dinner party last night, and we played 70s playlists like the whole night for 4 hours and stuff. And so like you were instrumental in creating that whole sound. Talk about that just like a little bit, because I think we have an audience that fits into that demographic.
Yeah, well, we were the original touring. Well, we became the touring band for James Taylor and Jackson Browne, and we did things like the live Running on Empty with Jackson, and so. And we ended up doing. We were very fortunate when we did James Taylor's first records. Peter Asher, who was producing him, made sure that our names appeared on the albums, which before that, very few musicians' names were ever credited on albums. So when that whole singer-songwriter movement began, people would look at James's records and go, well, there's Lee Sklar and Russ Kunkel and Dan. Let's hire those guys, because they wanted to have another James. So we ended up just out of the chute working our asses off. And it went on for a long time. We were like a cult hero band. We never had any success, but it was fun, man. It was a great run, and it's evolved into a new band that we've got right now called The Immediate Family, and it's Russ Kunkel and Danny Korchmar and Waddy Wachtel, myself, and Steve Postel. And we were hauling ass until the pandemic hit, and then everything It didn't grind to a halt, but it slowed down. We got a documentary movie coming out about us and a new album and all kinds of shit going on.
What's the name of the documentary movie? I want to see it.
It's going to be called The Immediate Family, and Denny Tedesco, who made the Wrecking Crew movie, is making this one.
I actually know that name. I know the name.
Excellent. Now let me get into let's get into my world, because I'm 80 years old. So we have to go back.
So good, it's ridiculous.
Well, so do you. I mean,
I'm 19. I'm 19.
Well, I really thought you were 26, but you know, that the beard aged you a bit. Okay, Johnny Mathis, what albums are you on that you played for Johnny?
Well, I just did one album with him, but he did duets, and I'm trying to remember the female artist.
Denise Williams.
Yeah, it was Denise. Yeah, it was Denise.
Yeah,
and it was lovely because I mean I was a Mathis fan since I was a little kid. My folks loved Johnny, and it's one of those things. You walk in the studio and he's there, and you just kind of pinch yourself. I've been through this with like Andy Williams and Andy Griffith and all these people. You know, they're so iconic that you walk in and you see them in the flesh and you kind of just start pinching yourself, which is fun anyhow.
Yes.
But it's a trip, and Johnny just has that voice, you know, and he's still singing so beautifully.
Well, because he never strained his voice. My first encounter with Johnny was supermarket shopping together. And we were all over the supermarket and we were chatting and bullshitting and nobody looked at him. So finally we got to the checkout boy and I said to the boy, do you know who this is with me? He said, not an idea. I said, this is Johnny Mathis. He said, oh, hello, Johnny Mathis. He still didn't know who Johnny Mathis was. And I really feel that in America, we really cash in our stars very quickly. Yeah. In Europe, an artist or an opera singer could be 100 and be remembered by teenagers. I don't understand why Johnny Mathis's music is not understood by the young, because he is better than Sinatra. He is better than any other male vocalist in the world. It's my opinion. I know the man. I've met him a few times after that socially. He is shy. He is soft-spoken. He is non-intrusive. He is the kindest, the most gentle, the most beautiful looking man. And when he sings, his voice is his beauty. Because
absolutely.
I adore Johnny. I adore him.
Yeah.
You know, he won't come on our show because he doesn't do interviews. I think he's a little afraid of me. You know, that I may say things that he doesn't want let known. And I would never do that. I adore him. If he came on our show, I would just sit here and say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you.
Well, get all the things he thinks you would say about him off on me, and then it'll be a clean slate for him. I'm good with anything. I really
let me tell you something. You're very cool. I like you. You're from my time, probably a little younger than I. But
I'm 73.
Okay, I'm 80. We lived in a world that's so different from today. And you and I have that old world spirit, and I hear it in you, and I feel comfortable with you. And I know that, listen, one question quickly before I forget. Yeah. What do you think of Gene Krupa?
Oh, Gene was magnificent. Fabulous drummer, you know, one of the greats of all time. And just his energy, when you see old footage of him playing and stuff, man, that guy was on fire. But you know, all those guys of that area, you know, Buddy, all those guys, you know, Louis Belson, they're all like amazing.
He always asks everybody that because I like drummers, so we always seem
have good friends that are drummers.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends. Like we had Rick Allen from Def Leppard on 2 weeks ago.
We've got famous drummers friends.
And we just know a lot of drummers.
And what about Pink Floyd and the other guy and the other guy?
He knows all them. You know Scott Page, right? And Stephen Perkins.
Yeah. Oh, all those guys.
I love Scott, and I love all
Scotty's
of them.
amazing. Scotty's amazing.
And his wife is terrific. I love Paige.
Yeah, Wayne. And his sister, too, Tanya, is really fabulous.
Yeah, no, Scotty is a good friend, a close, dear friend of ours. I'm talking about the drummer. What's his name?
Stephen Perkins.
Stephen Perkins. Wow, he plays a good drum.
Yeah.
But
Gene, we had Bobby Blotzer from Radon. We have a lot of drummers because I like drummers.
I was like brother to Jane Russell, the legend. She and I were dearest friends for years. And I used to ask her about all the stars before I was an adult. And I asked her one time, I said, what was Gene Krupa like? She said she knew him. And he was a bit strange, she said. But boy, when he got on those drums, everyone's mouth fell open.
Yeah.
And they were in awe. And when he finished playing, they'd all look at each other and say, how the hell does he do it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even see his sticks move. He goes so fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, these guys are remarkable, and everybody's spin on people are different. You know, somebody will think somebody's God, and another person will think they're a pent load. You know, you just never know. You know what? You know how people take on the person as a person. But
Right.
when they sit down at their art, that's when that defines them. At that point.
We like most of them though. We had Kenny Aronoff on not too long ago.
Kenny's
freaking awesome.
Kenny's another
He's such a
sweetheart.
dear friend.
We love
I
Kenny. He's a doll, Kenny. But
Yeah.
my two favorite instruments in a band are the drums and the saxophone.
Cool.
They make the band happen, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I hear when I hear a sax go brr, 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 with those beautiful low, sexy notes, and then I hear that drum give me the beat. Boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom.
I have a question.
Boom, I get crazy.
First of all, we're going to ask a question about Paul McCartney in a minute, but I have a question. So with Phil Collins, are you the bass player on In the Air Tonight?
I met Phil after he called me to do that album, and I was unavailable. So I started with him on No Jacket Required.
Okay.
In '84. But I mean, I've played it a million times on the road, and it's probably one of the greatest songs to play live ever.
It's one of the greatest songs ever written, ever.
When you played for La Streisand, was it a concert or an album?
I've done albums with her. I did the movie Amir Has Two Faces.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
I played on Evergreen.
Oh, I love that too.
That's a beautiful album.
Yeah. She was great. She's great. She's just the consummate pro. She shows up. She knows everybody's parts. I mean, she is like so in command. It's really a delight to work with her. I love her dearly.
So
I did a thing on my YouTube channel about her, and she actually contacted me and said she really appreciated it.
Oh, how cool is that?
I'm glad that you said something positive about her, because so many people say so many negative things.
Oh, fuck them.
You know, that she's a bitch, she's demanding, she's degrading, she'll degrade an artist on stage or whatever if they're not performing correctly. And I think these are just opinions of some people that got lost in the moment.
Well, I'll tell you also, when you're as professional as she is, she kind of shows up expecting everybody else to be professional, and she calls out people who are slackers. You know, if she's doing an album and somebody's in there and they're not doing a good job, she'll say something because it's important to her that it be right. And then they walk away going, "What a bitch." But it's not. She just wants it right, and you know, and she deserves it right, like any artist. If you say yes to a phone call and show up, bring your A game.
Absolutely.
No, I do movies, and I agree with this, because if the director and I don't get along, only in one movie we didn't get along, and that's only because we're best friends for many years. So never work for a director that's your best friend, because they take advantages on you that they wouldn't on others. And he sort of humiliated me on set, and
not good.
Well, he just thought he was being Brooklyn cute, and he wasn't. So I don't badmouth him ever. You know, I'll never work with him again. But I don't badmouth him.
Maintain the friendship.
Yes.
No, not even. I don't like people who badmouth people.
Okay.
I don't think anyone has the right to publicly hurt somebody else's career that they're working so hard for so many years to become famous.
I agree. I agree with you.
You know, keep your
one thing real quick. I'm sitting here looking at you, and you have this great head of white hair. When I was working with Andy Griffith, Andy had the same kind of hair, and he looked at me in the studio and he said, "Who would have thought I'd have all this white hair and Opie be bald?"
I love it.
Yeah, but you see, I could never grow a beard like you. I grow a beard like a Chinaman. I have hair on my chin and my little mustache, but there's nothing else on my face. So if I wanted to grow your beard, not possible.
How long does that take? How long is that to grow that?
You know, I've had it for so long. I cut it all the time, but I mean, I've had it forever. So
No,
last time I totally shaved was when I got my high school diploma in '65.
You're kidding.
Oh shit!
No.
Now, are you married?
Yeah.
65.
Now, what is your?
Oh, I was born then. You in 64.
Right. I was already an adult having kids. But anyway, what does your wife think of your beard? Of course, she loves it because.
Well, no, Yeah, yes and no. There's times where she just kind of just goes, "You think you're ever going to shave that?" She's never seen me clean shaven. We've been together 50 years in December, and she's still never seen me
Congratulations.
clean shaven.
Good for you. Happy marriage.
Yeah.
She's never seen you. Well, you know what? My hair and eyebrows have become my trademark.
Yeah.
And your beard has become your trademark.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know you without it.
I know.
I think it's very interesting because to me it's reminiscent of my hippie days when I was a hippie.
Yeah.
And I love that whole era, you know, love and caring and let's be friends and peace on earth.
It was pretty magical.
Well, we all believed in something wonderful that I wish people would today.
Yeah.
We'd be a far better planet.
Yeah, so a couple of things. Number one, do you know Mark Stein? Mark Stein is from Vanilla Fudge.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the only Mark Stein I knew was in Vanilla Fudge, keyboard player.
Yeah, because Helene wrote a thing that like you got your band opened up for oh shit, what was the name of the band now? I just forgot.
That's because you're old.
No, Jimi Hendrix. What's Jimi Hendrix's band?
Well, The Experience.
No, the real band, like back in the day.
Well, he had two. I mean, it was the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and then it was Band of Gypsies after that.
Maybe it's not Jimi Hendrix then.
No, it wasn't Jimi Hendrix.
No, but if she's talking about that, I was an usher at the Hollywood Bowl when the Beatles played there, and I stayed on for the whole season, and Jimi Hendrix played in Vanilla Fudge opened for Jimi Hendrix. So there may be
Led Zeppelin. I was thinking Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I was in a band in the late 60s called Wolfgang. And the very first time we ever walked on stage together was at Winterland in San Francisco, opening for Zeppelin in '68.
That's why I brought it up, because I knew Vanilla Fudge did too. And I'm from Florida. I'm originally from Florida.
Okay.
And Mark Stein lives there, so he used to be a clothing designer, and he used to shop in my store all the time, and we would go see them on tour. So she says we need to ask you about Paul McCartney. Let me tell my Paul McCartney story first.
Before you do that, I want to ask him before I forget, because I forget my age. Nobody knows this performer, and I loved his work. Country Joe and the Fish.
Oh, absolutely. Country Joe McDonald.
Yes. You knew him. Did you ever meet him?
No, I never met him, but I remember them well. All those groups. I mean, the whole Bay Area thing was amazing.
When I mention, people go blank. They say, "Who?" I say, "You don't know who Country Joe."
There's people that do that when you say the Beatles.
No,
there's a lot of people that are. Oh yeah, man. There's a lot of people that.
The Beatles.
Yeah. It's weird.
Actually, you had that happen with Barbra Streisand.
Oh yeah, I used to do college seminars, you know, teaching the kids about old Hollywood. And I was talking about Jane Russell, and I see this kid in front of me, he's got a blank face. Then I mentioned Betty Davis, he's got a blank face. Then I said Barbra Streisand, and I couldn't help it. I looked at him, I said, "Do you know who Barbra Streisand is?" He said, "No, but I've heard of her." And I just wanted to walk out of the building and say, you know, fuck it. These kids are so stupid.
Yeah.
Don't they know the history of film and music? We must teach them the history of film and music.
They're not curious.
Huh?
They're not curious. That's the
You're
thing.
right.
No, but if you teach, look, I go in there, I tell them stories, old Hollywood stories that I'm famous for. I know all the Hollywood legends because I grew up with them in my business. And they sit there fascinated. They will on Facebook. I just did one on Van Johnson, me having dinner with Van Johnson as an old guy. And people came and said, "Ron, we love your stories." And these are young people. So if you give them an appetite for it, like music, I mean, how many people know your music? Now we all know that you are absolutely outrageous in the performances that you've done with the greatest stars of the business. I mean, you are a legend now.
Well, that's been the neat thing about this YouTube channel that came out of the pandemic for me. Is there so many people? We're like today. I did America. I did a song "1 in a Million" that I recorded with them. So that's before we came on the air. And I get people that come on and go, "I didn't know about that person, but I'm going to go check them out." And then they write me back and they go, "Oh, I love their music." You know, it's like exposing people to things and educating them. And just, you know, really letting them take your lead, and then they go on an exploratory adventure to find these things that otherwise they're never going to hear.
I love
or see with movies, and you know,
that's why I'm happy you're on our show, because we've just educated 4.5 million people that you have played with some of the greatest legends, and they're not all the jerks of today. We have garbage out there for music today.
Well, there was garbage then too. You know,
Yeah, but our garbage was good garbage.
But you know, I mean, it's been fun because I played on It's Raining Men, I played on I Am Woman, you know, all those things. It's been a great run. I cannot complain. I've had a.
Are you kidding? You're a super success.
Let's go back to
Wait a minute. You are Barbara Streisand with a beard.
Let's go back to Paul McCartney. So like I used to live in Florida and I love that. And Paul McCartney had a house there, and a friend of mine lived like 4 doors down and said, "Oh, you know, he's not there, but I know the caretaker. You want to go look at it?" So we got to go and see Paul McCartney's house. It was amazing. And Helene says you have a Paul McCartney. Tell us something about Paul McCartney.
Well, the thing that was fun to me was there was a concert. They've done them many years. It's called the Knebworth, Knebwrth. It's
Festival,
outside
yeah.
of London, and it's a huge festival. And in 1990, we played it with Phil Collins, and we also combined with the 2 other guys from Genesis. But it was Page and Plant, Elton, McCartney, Clapton, Pink Floyd. I mean, it's like one of these days where everybody you ever dreamed of is performing. And I walked into the canteen area, and Paul was sitting with Linda eating, and I thought, I've got to go say something to this guy. I mean, he's meant the world to me. And I start heading over to their table, and he looks up and he sees me and he goes, "Oh man, Lee Sklar, I always wanted to meet you." And I said, "Don't fucking do this to me." I was going to break some glass and crawl through it on my way to the table. But it was really fun because after the show, I talked to him, and I said, you know, the last time I heard some of these songs was I was an usher at the Hollywood Bowl when you guys played there. And he just thought that was the funniest thing in the world, that, you know, I got paid $5 to see the Beatles.
There you go.
This happened to me. The first Jane Russell said to me, Esther Williams, the swimmer, was Jane Russell's best friend and living in Santa Monica. And Jane said to me, "I'm going to Esther's for lunch. You want to come? You'd like to meet her?" I said, "Are you kidding? Of course. I'll have to interview her also." So I walk into the house, and there's Esther. Jane and Esther hugged and kissed. And then Esther said, "I heard about you. You're crazy." and you want me on your show? I said, "What an introduction, Esther. You should have drowned years ago." And she started to laugh her head off. I said, "Who told you I'm crazy?" She said, "Jane did, because Jane said Ron wants you on his show, but he's a little crazy." So I looked at Jane. I said, "Thanks for the knife in the back, bitch."
No, that's a good introduction.
Well, anyway, Esther Williams turned out to be one of the most down-to-earth broads I've ever met. I mean, she's really, she was not Hollywood at all. She was totally human.
Oh, and it's so gorgeous, and what a great athlete.
And she was a lovely person, a wonderful hostess, and friendly and warm. And of course, she had gained weight and was older, but I could still see a beautiful woman there.
Oh, that's great.
But I liked Esther a lot.
Yeah.
So we asked. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because I was going to go move to a different subject. So keep your thought. And go ahead and finish it.
For it.
My new subject is, because we've had. Do you know Tony Franklin?
Yeah, Tony's a very dear friend.
So Tony Franklin has his own guitar, and so do you. And that's why I wanted to like brag a little bit, because you've got the Lee Sklar signature bass.
I've got 2 of them actually with 2 different companies, but they're diametrically opposed, so there's no conflict of interest, and I'm not a total whore, you know, hawking stuff.
That's okay if you're a total whore anyway. Hey,
no, I mean, under other circumstances. No, there's a company called Dingwall out of Canada, Sheldon Dingwall. And my 5-string is made by Sheldon, but then I have a semi-acoustic 4-string that's made by Warwick in Germany. And so they're both signature models. And then I have my main bass, which I call Frankenstein, because it was just body parts that we assembled back in '73. And turned out to be like the greatest monster I ever saw. So I'm with that.
So is that your favorite one?
Yeah, it's just sitting right here. It's the one I just used on the America track, because that's what I used on the record.
Now let me ask you, where do you live? Don't give us where. Just give us.
I'm in Pasadena, Kella, out here.
Oh, Pasadena. Okay.
Yeah.
When we get over this virus bullshit, Scott Page performs with some of the Pink Floyd people in that wonderful the Dome.
Have you been to the Wisdome?
The Wisdome. Have you been?
I have not been there yet.
Well, listen, let's make a date. I want to meet you in person. I want a picture with you for my album.
I'll need a picture with you too, because I'm actually in the process this week of finishing a coffee table book.
Oh, cool.
Since 2004, I've got, I mean, I have over 11,000 pictures of people going,
woo. Oh,
We'll do it.
that's my famous, that's
and
my famous picture. I had it on Facebook. I'm in the car eating lunch because we're going to go film soon. And Jimmy says to me, do not get any grease on my BMW seats. So I just turned.
I just got it. It was brand new.
I turned to him and I went like that. Well, it got like a zillion plays. But
yeah.
But, oh yeah.
When's your coffee table book coming out? Hold on.
Wait. Let me get back to the Wisdom.
Okay, you finished the Wisdom.
Yeah. When Scott plays there, everybody plays there. I will call you and I will say to you, we're going to be there that night. Bring your wife. We have the best time. Afterwards, we go out, we socialize, we have coffee and whatever.
I'd love it.
It's a wonderful.
I've done so many things with Scott over the years and played with him so many times. I'd love to go down there.
Scott, I'll tell Wayne to be there also.
Yeah.
And we'll tell Kenny to be there. All the guys.
I'll be playing anyway. So.
And Kenny's playing.
He knows all of them. You know Kenny Olson, right?
Yeah.
Kenny Olson.
He knows everybody.
I love Kenny Olson. I keep fixing him up.
He's like the man. He knows everybody.
No, I keep fixing him up with these broads.
So hold on.
Like a pimp.
Tell us about the book then. So when's the book going to come out? So everybody in the book is shooting a bird?
Yeah. I mean, it's recognizable people. It's people on the street. It's people at gigs. It's all of humanity. I mean, it runs the gamut, with people like Jack Nicholson and Lou Adler and Jay Leno and Gwyneth Paltrow and all. But I've got like everybody. I've got athletes and all these. But we've pared the book down to 6,000 photographs. I've still got 5,000 sitting in a folder, and it should be heading to print this weekend, which means I'll have the book by the end of November. So I'm going to dress up like Santa and go and treat my channel like QVC and be
Hawking books. There you go. I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, I'm going to be starting probably in the next week or so. I'm going to be beginning a Kickstarter campaign for it, and those people will get like autographed copies and all that. It's something that people have been bugging me about for years because they've seen me taking these pictures forever. But all of a sudden I had time because of the pandemic. I was supposed to be on the road through February of next year and everything shut down. So suddenly I created this YouTube channel and a Clubhouse. I've got a live stream at 3:00 today with my Clubhouse. And I'm trying to make the most of a really hideous situation.
You and me both. It's very difficult. I go on the set. I was just on the set Friday, finishing up a film called Clown Motel 2. And we all had to wear masks, which I thought was stupid until we shot. The minute we shot, we took masks off. And I said to my director, what's the point? If we've got it, we just spread it. I mean, and I've been kissing everybody, hello and goodbye, all that whole. So
it's a tough call.
It's disgusting. It's really, I hate it because, I'm 80 years old. What have I got left? And whatever I have left, I don't want to be in prison. I want to enjoy it.
Even though we are in prison because we don't go anywhere.
I love my friends beyond belief. I'm a Gemini.
Yeah.
I'm
a Gemini.
Okay, I love you already. I mean, I'm a social butterfly. I've been all my life, and I have wonderful friends. Over the years, many have died, of course. Mr. Blackwell, Jane Russell, Rhonda Fleming. No, she's alive still. But anyway, all the old broads, the old actresses. So I'm kind of in a world now of young people because all the old ones are gone. And I love the young people because they keep me young. But this pandemic is for the birds. I mean,
so let's go back. First of all, we have B. Claudia in the chat room. B. Claudia is from Germany. She basically tunes in. She's a big fan and friend of ours, but she loves the musician people more than anybody. And so she'll totally have an orgasm if you just say hi, B. Claudia, because she'll be so happy.
B. Claudia, I've been waiting for you so long now. I mean, you put an absolute smile on my face.
And you know something? She will work on your Kickstarter like no one else.
Yeah,
she does that. She will help promote your Kickstarter.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do it. I'm going to have to get some tutorials on how to do this.
It's not hard. It's not hard. So do you listen to modern day music at all?
Well, being in the profession I'm in as a studio musician, you really have to be cognizant of everything that's going on, because you never know what you're going to get called for. And I still do a lot of albums with kids in their 20s and stuff. And the thing is, when you walk in the studio, the age disappears.
Right.
And we're all on the same page working together. And I love it. You know, I mean, there's crap, but I think back to crap that I was listening, you know, heard when I was 20. So, you know,
I never heard crap at 20. What were you listening to?
I heard some
like what?
Crap.
Give me some crap.
Because he was probably behind the scenes.
No, but wait a minute. Give me some crap.
Well, you know, there were bands that I just thought were not very good bands that got, you know, had a lot, had pretty much success. There was a ton of them, like in Hollywood on the Sunset Strip, you know, playing clubs.
like Bones, that group, Bones was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't a big fan of the Seeds or some of those bands. And
neither was I.
But it doesn't mean they were bad. It just means there were others that my energy, you know, was more focused on, that I enjoyed more.
You know what? Back then, we got so loaded that when the music played, who gave a shit? As long as we could dance to anything, we danced to two cans banging together.
I was in that band.
I mean, really. I used to go to the what was it on Sunset Boulevard? The Whiskey Go Go.
Yeah, still there.
And everybody played there. That was incredible. I mean, but we really went for the music and mostly to have fun. And
it's the hang. It's the
hang. It's the hang. And everybody got a little loaded. We all got a little free. And it was a good time.
Yeah. The Hullabaloo was a great club.
Remember the I forgot about the Hullabaloo.
Yeah, I went there and I saw the original Sons of Champlin, followed by the early Sly and the Family Stone. And the headliner was Canned Heat.
I love Sly. Did you ever go to the Baked Potato on Ventura?
Oh, yeah.
I love the Baked Potato.
Yeah. You know, I love an intimate club.
A good friend of ours, a good drummer played there, Earl Palmer.
Oh, Earl played on our first record when I was
I love Earl. Earl Palmer. Shit. Earl Palmer was a good friend of mine and the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And I used to go there with all my friends just to hear Earl the nights that he played. And one night, Red Fox came in.
Oh,
and I was with my sister-in-law, who was a tall, white, blonde, sophisticated broad. And he went over and he said, "You're not going to give me a kiss?" So she offered her cheek, and he stuck his tongue in her ear. That was Red Fox. He was outrageous.
Who's going to say no?
No, but I loved Red Fox. He had a filthy mouth. He's like me, dirty mouthed and dirty pervert. I mean, if a good-looking chick walked in, forget about it. What he didn't say and do. He was a womanizer. He was a crazy guy.
I'll tell you the funniest one of those cats was my wife and I went to a Marino's Italian restaurant down in Hollywood one night with one of her girlfriends who was just beautiful. Next table, Jack LaLanne was there, and Jack was so all over her girl, and he's sitting with his wife, and he's like 5'4". He was like 5'4", and
yes.
Brooke was about 5'11", and he was like climbing her.
Wait, and Jack's wife was like 5. I was with Mr. Blackwell eating in a Greek restaurant in L.A., and Jack was there with his wife, and Jack walked over to our table, and he looked at Mr. Blackwell. He said, "Yo, fuck, you're still alive. How are you?" And he was a cool guy. He said that to Blackwell, "You old fuck, you're still alive." Yeah, he was the littlest guy in the world. Not only was he short, but he was petite.
Yeah.
And on film, when he does the commercial, he looks so big and tall.
Yeah.
And his wife had to be 4'8". She was like a dwarf. I mean,
yeah, it was funny. He was sitting at the table, like flexing his arm, going, "Here, feel my muscle, feel my
no muscle."
It was towards the end of his life. He was a real character. I love characters.
Yeah, I do. I knew character. Mr. Blackwell, you know who Mr. Blackwell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. His fashion.
Richard was my best and dearest friend. We hung out all the time, and he and Zsa Zsa Gabor. I mean, he tells a story that the first time he went to Zsa Zsa Gabor's house, the dog had shit on the rug. And Zsa Zsa was so busy looking at the shit and telling the maid how to clean it. And Blackwell was standing there. And Blackwell looked at her. He said, "As soon as you get finished with the shit, I would like to speak to you." So she looked up, and then she went back to the shit. Mr. Blackwell turned around and walked out. And there never was a friendship ever again.
Wow.
He used to say that she wears so many feathers, she looks like she's in a tree giving birth to eggs.
So real quick though, go back.
Yeah, Jimmy.
So go to, oh shit, now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh no, Eileen. Okay, first of all, I don't know if I already said to say hi to Eileen, but say hi to Eileen Shapiro. She doesn't know how to get in the chat room, so she's texting me.
I know it's breaking my heart because Eileen is such a, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Eileen. She's the conduit to everybody.
Did you ever see her tits?
I've seen some pictures on.
She has the biggest set of jugs in the world.
And Ron made them famous.
And I made them famous because I adore Eileen. She's like my sister. I mean,
that's great.
She's my dearest best friend.
And she's my business partner. So.
Right. And I say to Eileen, you know, she slept over our house and I saw her without a bra in a nightgown. I said, Eileen, my God, those fucking things. They're like bombs, you know, like torpedoes. And don't they hurt? And she said, not at all. I'm used to it. So I said, I bet you, and it's true. Every guy that meets Eileen wants a banger.
Yeah, everybody likes Eileen.
All the guys we introduce her to, they all want a banger. I said, what the fuck does she got besides her tits? It's so wonderful. I mean, so, you know.
So anyway, she has a question.
Yeah.
Her question is, do you know Billy Idol? Billy, you know, she just wrote this book, Waiting for Adam, all about, like, you know, all the people she interviewed and trying to interview Adam Ant. Now she wants to interview Billy Idol. She wants to know if you know Billy Idol.
Well, I did an album with him, but I haven't seen him in years.
You're out of luck, Eileen. Sorry.
Eileen is crazy about Adam Ant.
Well, Adam had his moment in the sun, that's for sure.
Well, she would bang him in a second, a New York second. She's so hot for that guy. And I said,
Helene says Eileen's tits can't be as big as Dolly Parton's, but I think Dolly Parton had a reduction, so
no. Wait a minute. Dolly Parton's body is a lot thinner than Eileen's, but the tits are the same. I'm a tit man. I know what I'm talking about. She's got Dolly Parton.
Fuck, laugh out loud. And B. Claudia from Germany said that she's totally going to get your book, and she's just subscribe to your YouTube channel so she can watch it.
Let's do this. What's the name of your book again?
I'm not releasing any of that until the cover and the title, everything's going to be a surprise when the Kickstarter hits.
I love it. Okay.
Well, then when the Kickstarter hits, you're going to come
You got to
back.
let me know because I have a bunch of...
No, but you're going to come back on this show. I'm inviting you.
I would love to. I would love to.
This way we can help you raise the funds and get your book going.
Great.
Because you know what? Let me tell you something. And this is no smoke up your ass because I don't do that. You have now become music legend. Because the amount of work that you have done with the celebrities that you have worked with puts you in the category of fabulous. And
he likes you because you guys go to all the same places.
No, I want to ask him. I want to ask him one more question.
Yeah, please.
And if he worked with her, I'm leaving the show and I'm going to kill myself.
Okay.
Did you ever work for Peggy Lee?
No, you don't have to kill yourself. But boy, I sure was a fan of Peggy and
you.
All the songs she wrote, like for Lady and the Tramp and all those things.
She wrote songs for Jane Russell.
Yeah.
That Jane used in her show. Peggy Lee is my favorite female singer. There's nobody like Peggy Lee. Even though she sang before the music or after the music. I forgot how it was. Beryl Davis. Does that name mean anything to you?
I've heard the name.
Beryl Davis was a singer and her husband was the CEO of Capitol Records. And Beryl and I were driving one day and she looked up and she said, oh, Peggy Lee, when she was alive, lived there. I said, you knew Peggy Lee? She said, yes. I said, Beryl, how many years ago? She was still alive and I know you. She said, of course she was. Beryl, why didn't you ever introduce me to Peggy Lee? I'm going to kill you. She said, I didn't think you cared. I said, I don't care. So I play my fucking car. It's Johnny Mathis and Peggy Lee. And you know what she said to me? Oh, Ron, too bad. Peggy would have loved you. I wanted to punch her in the face, and I don't hit women, but I love Beryl Davis, was my dearest friend.
Yeah. But that's, it's sad to think, when you're that close and it doesn't happen.
Yes.
I mean, really and truly.
So let's take that to you then. Who's somebody that you've been that close, but it didn't happen that you thought, oh my God, I would have loved to actually get to work with them. Do you have a bucket list of somebody that 2,600 fucking albums. There's probably not too many people that you have missed.
No, but there's people who I really love their music and I haven't had a chance. I love Steve Winwood. I've always been a Winwood fan, and I've never had the chance to play with him. And I've been close to and hung with Elton, but I've never been able to go on, tour with him or record. There's a few out there, but I think it's nice just to share everything. So there's lots of gigs out there. I just want to see everybody busy and working.
Yeah, but you don't get greedy. You've done enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got some resume, my friend. The question I wanted to ask, I just forgot. Being 80 sucks. You forget everything. You got to do everything, interrupt people, and do it.
But it's all fresh every time you come up with it again.
Yeah, because you forgot that you said.
Yeah, you forgot you said it.
What was the question I wanted to ask?
That's hilarious.
And it was a good. Oh! My favorite song of all time is Crystal Blue Persuasion.
Oh.
And I put it on Facebook and said to the young people today, listen to the lyrics, because this is what we need today. And now I just found out that Tommy James is coming on our show soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, maybe he'll bring a couple of chandelles with him.
Yeah.
He's got to unscrew them from the ceiling, the chandeliers.
Oh, he had some great songs. But, all those guys, I did an album with Dion. And I'll tell you, the most fun thing was he was goofing around and he did like a hip hop version of The Wanderer just for fun. We didn't even record it. We were all sitting there and we went, are you kidding me? It was so good.
How cool is that?
How cool is that?
It's those behind the scenes, those things. Those are the kind of things that you like always remember, that you
did you ever work with Dionne Warwick?
Oh yeah, I did a bunch of Dionne Warwick stuff. Yeah, I love Dionne. Because a lot of stuff I did a lot of Hal David was a dear friend and Burt Bacharach, so I did a lot of stuff that they were involved with.
Oh my God, I love Make It Easy on Yourself.
I met Burt.
Bacharach.
My friend Perry Winkler lived up in Truesdale Estates, and that's where Burt and Angie Dickinson lived. Matter of fact, they were 3 or 4 houses down. And Angie Dickinson was the sweetest woman in the world.
Yeah.
Burt was very shy and very nice. And they had a daughter that had some sort of a retardation or something. And it was sad because here they were, these famous people who do so much, and they have to have this horrible thing happen to their child.
Well, it's like being a great singer and you have a child that's deaf.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, this is what this was. I mean, I don't think the daughter got it, who Burt was. Or Angie was.
What is your producer switch?
This goes back to the great Tommy Tedesco, who was the greatest studio guitar player that ever was. We were doing a movie over at the Universal lot at Universal Studios. Used to have a great studio on the property, and we used to do all the shows like Magnum PI and Hill Street Blues. I mean,
I love that.
Rockford Files and all those things. But I was sitting with Tommy, and the barricades, you look like Kilroy when you were sitting there. All you saw was like this much of our faces. And the conductor was across the room, and he said to Tommy, he says, could I hear like a mandolin on this? So Tommy bends over and picks up his instrument and plays. He goes, no. He went through like a half a dozen instruments wanting to hear different sounds. And I'm dying. I'm crapping my pants because I'm right next to Tommy. And Tommy's only bending over and sitting back up. He only had his acoustic guitar with him. So he was pretending he was picking something else up and then playing in different positions. And when it was over, I looked at him, I said, I just learned more in 5 minutes how this business works than I did in all my formal education. So I went home with one of my main basses and I drilled a hole in it and stuck a switchcraft switch in the hole, but there was no wires or anything. So if somebody would ask me, can you make that shimmer? Can you make it more mauve? I would make sure they could see me flip the switch, and then I'd play in a different position, and they were thrilled, and it saved me a lot of aggravation. And then word got out.
Tricks of the biz.
It's all placebos. Yeah.
You are one hell of a terrific, interesting guy.
What about I like Miley. So I like Miley Cyrus a lot. Have you played on anything for Miley Cyrus?
I didn't do anything. I worked with Billy Ray, but I never worked with Miley. And I did some comments on her stuff early on where I said, you actually are really a talented girl, and so much of what she was doing was such a distraction from her actual abilities.
She has a new song she just released last week, and it is awesome. I freaking like
cool.
it.
Well, what's the one that wore the meat? What was her name?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. She's got
so good.
Better talent than what she puts out there. I mean, she's an opera singer. She's a very good ballad singer.
Yeah, I saw her with Tony at the
Tony Bennett
Hollywood Bowl, and she was great. And
she's fabulous.
The thing is, it's kind of like all these things. It's like you guys. How many people want to do something like this? How do you rise to the top? You've got to have a shtick or a hook or anything like that.
Chemistry.
Yeah, and it's a big field of people. So she came out, and with all her talent, the first thing she did was make something that caught everybody's eye. So she got all the attention. Once you've got that, then you can go ahead and introduce them to your talent. But you've got to have an audience before that happens.
She and Tony definitely had chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, the magic bounced back and forth. The reason why Jimmy and I are successful is we have chemistry. Besides, we're legally married, but it's the yin and the yang, you know, the crazy and the sensitive.
Exactly. You have a vibe, the two of you guys. I mean, it's like you're exactly the same and totally different.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, the one thing that I base myself on is I tell the truth. I am at a fault with it. I mean, some people hate me for telling the truth, but I feel don't give, like, I would never praise you as I did if you weren't who you are. And I'm not being,
if you weren't any good,
and I'm not being wonderful about it. If you suck, I mean, I've had some shit on this show you wouldn't believe. That the date when we left the studio, I said to Jimmy, "You ever put that fuck back on? I'm quitting."
Yeah.
A torture chamber, you know, and they sit there with this fucking ego, like who they are. They made 2 films that suck, and they are so grand and wonderful, you know, and I hate that kind of bullshit.
Well, I've dealt with artists like that too. You know, I go in the studio and sometimes the lamest people have, well, because they deep down in their soul, they know they suck. So they put this defense up.
Exactly.
That, you know, and you just kind of go, okay, well, I know who to say no to if they call again.
Right.
But when I'm there with them working, I still give it 100. Like I would,
absolutely.
You have to.
You have to.
It's your. I work with actors like that.
Yeah.
I'm not to mention, but a couple of movies ago that I did, we had a guy on set that I think we were going to put his name before the name of the fucking film. You know, that he was so arrogant, and he had 2 lines in the movie. But you earned all the praise I give you, because to achieve what you achieve with those people, you have to be sensational. I would love to hear you play solo something. I asked Scott.
You can hear him. We can go to his YouTube channel.
Well,
come to me. Yeah, come join me.
Oh, I will.
Because I'm telling beyond the way, if we have the time, I'll tell you real quickly how this all started. We had just finished this 2 years on the road with Phil Collins. And I had guys writing to me saying, you know, I saw you and it was in a big stadium. And I could hear you, but I couldn't hear details sometimes because of the venue. And so what I thought I would do is I contacted our front of house mixer and had him send me the show from Adelaide when we played there, because it was a real good show. They were all good shows, but this was a good show. So what I did was I loaded it into my laptop. I have a little speaker plugged into the laptop and I have a bass amp. So what I did was I would play. I said, I'm going to do the entire show 1 song a day. And so I did the first song of the show. You could hear the track. And then my bass part was sitting on top of it rather than in it. And I started telling stories about things. And like 3 songs into it, I had people writing me going, "Man, we love your YouTube channel." I went, "What YouTube channel?" I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. And suddenly it had evolved into a channel. And now I've got about 200 videos since the pandemic began on there, and I pick a song every day that I've worked on and play it along. I have to relearn some songs I played 50 years ago, like with James Taylor. And then I tell all kinds of road stories and backstories about everybody, and all of a sudden, in a few months, I've got 132,000 people on my channel.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's great.
Good for us at our age that we could still belt them out. Question.
Yeah.
Ever play for my other sweetheart, Tina Turner?
You know, I wish I actually played a bit of a live gig with Tina. Tina was involved when Phil Collins did, I think it was Tarzan, the music for Tarzan, and Tina sang one of the main songs. Well, Tina, we flew to New York to do the premiere of the show, and Tina flew in from Switzerland to sing with us. And man, I'll tell you, it was such an absolute treat. I mean, she came in like Streisand, like this total pro. We had like a dozen background singers, and she immediately walked up, said, "I want to hear each of you," placed them all so they would be balanced on their mics. And I looked over at Phil. He was like a pig in shit, because he suddenly she took over, and he was all he's ever wanted to do was play drums. That's what he's the best at, and he's one of the best drummers in the world.
I love him.
Another question. Another
Yeah.
question. The Queen of Queens, Miss Patti LaBelle.
I did some recording with Patti.
I love her. Tell me she's wonderful and nice and sweet.
She was great. She was. I mean, I saw the Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells open for the Stones at the down in what was it, the Sports Arena back in the late '60s, and she was singing her ass off then. I mean, she's got one of the great tools in this business.
She hits notes that everybody tries to hit, and they can't.
Yeah.
I love Patti LaBelle. I almost came close to Jimmy and I meeting her. She coming to our house for dinner twice because we're good friends with
Kim Sledge, Kathy Sledge,
from Sister Sledge.
Yeah.
And Kathy lived a town over from us. And I said, you know, why don't you and your husband come over for dinner one night? And she said, oh, you know what? Would you like me to bring Patti LaBelle to meet you? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Would I like it? Give me a break. You know, please, Kathy. I said, absolutely.
Then we moved.
And then we moved because,
How about one more? We got to ask Queen because our next guest is getting ready to come in.
Okay.
Queen, did you work with Queen?
No, because Queen is a self-contained group.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, people have said, have you ever played with McCartney? I go, he's a bass player.
Right.
Yeah.
Play with him. But I really, we had fun one time. We got called to do a demo of a song that Paul and Linda wrote, and it's really funny. Their next door neighbor, his name was Michael Bolton.
I love Michael,
but
Bolton.
It wasn't that Michael.
Oh,
Bolton.
not that Michael Bolton.
No, but it was just funny, and it was really fun. So that's as close as I got to working, doing anything with them as we did this demo. It was me and Greg Fillinganes, a whole bunch of us in the studio, and we had to sign a disclaimer that we wouldn't talk about it. But that was years ago and stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
it's a funny business. You know?
Eileen sent me a text that you're supposed to make sure you check your text about the European radio show, please. And we have another guest that should be coming in any second now.
They're gonna kick ass.
They're gonna kick ass.
Well, we're gonna see you at the Wisdom for sure. And
absolutely.
If you don't show up, I will find where you live and I will come with a buzzer and I will buzz off that fucking beard and sideburns, and then I will take pictures of you and post it on Facebook.
I love that, by the way. All right, everybody. So this is Leland Sklar. Please check out his YouTube channel. It's Leland Sklar, and join the clubhouse. He plays today at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Join him, Leland. We want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been fabulous, and we will see you soon. And when the book's
please check out our group, The Immediate Family.
The Immediate Family, you guys. Google it.
And
please. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Thank you for all the good shows.
You guys are the best.
No, you are. Thank you.
No, you are.
Well, you are. Thank you for the good show you gave us.
Yes, we are. I love it all. Leland, thank you so much. There we go. I love it. There we go. Woo! Bye-bye, Leland.
Bye, Leland.
Yay,
what
everybody.
A sensational guy. Everybody listening or watching it, isn't he sensational? I wish all our guests were like him.
So you